Back in 2001, Strokes released an album called Is This It? Right? We all remember that one.
Yep.
It's a classic, right? One of the best albums of all time.
It was
in my opinion. Yeah, we all know. We know how it is. Okay, a few years
You're welcome,
later,
listeners.
they released another album that some would say was the same sound. Room on
Right.
Fire. Like, good songs. We all like the songs in there. Diminishing quality. I think not as great of an album as that original one. You know, a couple years later, have another one called, go ahead, Derek, help me out
First Impressions of Earth.
First Impressions of Earth. Not as impressive. There were some bangers on that one, but it wasn't Is This It? Do those two albums discount the greatness of what Is This It or what the Strokes have been able to create?
I'll let Bones take this one because
Well, you know, I'm glad you asked.
more than I do.
Well,
I love the Strokes, but
I mean,
Does it make Is This It any worse? I know this is a weird comparison, but
I do like it, but I will, you know, I feel like I've actually thought about this. Is This It is a great album, and it's maybe my favorite album. It's top 5 for sure. And the Strokes used to be my favorite band, and now they're just one of my favorite bands. But with everything happening after Is This It, I don't think the Strokes are a great band.
oh,
that's wild.
wow,
That's wild.
wow. Okay, I shouldn't have let you talk.
I mean, I'm a bigger Strokes fan than you are, and
Yeah,
I
I
say
know.
that they're not a great band.
They're a heheadlining band. I mean,
They're a
like,
headlining
and
band.
They're
They're
like
a
an
great
indie
band because of what they signify about the about post '90s rock.
If the Strokes are a great band, then what are the Beatles?
What? Come on.
No. Answer my question. If the Strokes are a great band, then what are
They're
the Beatles?
both great bands. They can
Yeah,
both
they're-
be. But they're.
I mean, the Beatles are like
So
10
the
times as great
Beatles-
as the Strokes.
But that's my thing. Is great so vague of a word? Is the spectrum on great
of course,
so
it's a vague word.
Well, is great? Is that spectrum so far away from each other that you can say the Beatles and the Strokes are great?
I would say that Is This It is better than some Beatles albums.
I would not
would-
disagree.
I
You
would
mean
say,
like
like-
the early ones when they were just
I'd
when
say
they were popular?
I'd say like a good 70% of them I
oh,
enjoy.
okay.
I mean,
well,
that's my
the
personal
Beatles got
opinion.
10 albums.
Yeah, they're probably better than 7 of those albums.
well, it's not better than Revolver. Not better than
Abbey,
Sgt. Pepper.
not better than Abbey Road.
No, not better than Abbey Road.
Not better than the White Album.
I don't know. I'd rather listen to Is This It over the White Album. That's because the White Album's super
Well,
long.
and
but
and I mean I agree. The
Back-
Strokes.
I
Yes,
love the songs
Paul,
there. It's
yes.
it's a whole album though. You don't have to
Back to
agree,
your
man.
original question about the analogy between.
Does it make
The-
Is This
about-
It any worse? Those
Uh,
two albums.
It does not make Is This It any worse, but I actually wanted to disagree with the analogy in general because
What?
because I know, big surprise,
Hey,
right?
don't be ridiculous.
Hey,
It's a perfect comparison.
because it's kind of a known phenomenon that the first album a lot of times is the best because
First cut is the deepest as well.
that's when the band's sound is original. And after the band, like solidifies their sound, they have like two choices. Either they can differ from it to remain original, or they can double down on it, at which juncture it feels like a repeat. So, some bands, Radiohead, the Beatles, as examples, change their sound over time and succeed with it, and they remain great going forward. But most bands fail at that enterprise because it's just such a difficult thing to do. So the general expectation is for the quality of a band's music to slowly decline over time. Happened with Weezer, Blue Album, Pinkerton, great stuff. Maladroit, less so. On the other hand, with athletes, you expect them to get better over time and learn.